All right, good evening, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, folks, peeps, everybody. I've got 5:03. We're going to get the workshop started. I'm going to make a little disclaimer up front. I am smoked, so I apologize for what you're about to endure. We'll get through it. So kicking off, City Council workshop to start Thursday. See, here we go. Tuesday, April 14th, 5 o'clock, called to order at 5:03. Announcements, citizen comments. This is an opportunity for members of the public to suggest the addition of topics for discussion. Order address topics of interest with a presentation limited to 3 minutes. All speakers will conduct themselves in an orderly and lawful manner. All speakers will be recognized prior to speaking, will announce their name and address to be included in the minutes. State law prohibits the mayor and members of the city council from commenting on any statement or engaging in dialogue without an appropriate agenda item being posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Law. Taylor, first up for tonight.
I get to speak first. My name's Taylor Colwell. I am a local business owner of Anchor Realty, former resident of Morgan's Point, but I'm speaking on behalf of a 11U select soccer team that I, excuse me, that I'm the assistant coach of. Our head coach is Jordan Reese. He is a resident of Bluebonnet Loop in Morgan's Point, West Point graduate, military veteran, great guy. The reason that I'm here is we're currently with Syntex Soccer Club, but we have an opportunity to bring Solar Soccer Club to Central Texas. It is based out of Dallas-Fort Worth. It's a large organization, and we have some connections to the inside of that club, and we would love to be able to open our own chapter here with our 11U boys. My son is on the team. Mr. Matt's behind me's son is also on the team, and his wife is our team manager. He is a resident of Morgan's Point as well. So it made sense for us with all of the people in our organization who live in Morgan's Point. I used to live on Bluebonnet Loop myself, to see if we could partner with the city of Morgan's Point to bring Solar Soccer Club here for our 11U boys. So what we would ask of you guys is a partnership. Ansay Park has a great green space in the middle of it, between the basketball court and the playground, if you're familiar with what I'm talking about. That's not currently really developed. It's just a really nice green space. We would love to be able to use that space for a soccer field, for practice fields, and a game field on the weekend. And what would need to happen is some slight improvements to that field. Maintenance of the grass, painting lines, soccer goals, and there's 2 light poles, one near the basketball court and one near the playground. We would also ask if we could get some lights added to that, directed to the field area for the winter months that, it gets dark really early. What we would want to offer you guys in partnership is sponsorship opportunities on our jerseys, on our signs, on all of our publications of Morgan's Point, any local businesses that want to be a part of that. We would love to offer free clinics to the neighborhoods in Morgan's Point, free soccer clinics, things to engage the kids that we already know are running around out there. We have a wealth of knowledge. I myself was a college soccer player. Jordan, our head coach, played at West Point, so he's a lot better than me. I played at Mary Hardin-Baylor. But we have a lot of knowledge and a lot of passion for the game and for kids, for training them up. Our sons are here, but they had to go play on the playground. They couldn't sit in this meeting. So anyway, that's what we're asking. We want to be a part of the community. We want to support Morgan's Point. We want to do for you guys anything that's needed, whether it be volunteering, helping with the fundraisers you already do, Easter egg hunts, 5Ks, anything that we can do to help Morgan's Point be even better than it already is. That's what we're asking.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Absolutely.
I've got it on here. It's on
Yeah,
the sign-in
they've
sheet.
got
Yep.
phone number, email, and everything.
Yep, we got it. Yep. Sharon.
My name is Sharon Smitherman at 14 Tejas Lane, Belton, Texas, or Morgan's Point, sorry. I don't know if all of you know, we had a little flood situation at my house this week, and the city has offered to help me through this situation that I have. And what I'd like to ask is that you make whatever a resolution or something to give a designated person the ability to settle the claim so that I don't have to wait until you meet next month to get my repairs done. Because right now I'm living in a maze. Of course, I would like to volunteer if you need a maze drawn up. I've got a perfect plan in my house. But if you could find a way to make sure that I don't have to wait another month or a month to get my repairs done, I would appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Scott? Welcome back, sir.
Thank you. Scott Backrack, 3 West Aztec Lane. You guys remember me with the accessory structure in question in the previous meeting. Just wanted to, again, come up here. Thank you guys for your help with this project. Give you small updates. I have had Mr. Mike out to the property to verify. I have maintained all compliance with the permits I was requesting and the variances that were approved. Additionally to that, since the last meeting, a big concern was the giant white wall on the side of my building. We have installed 3 rather sizable trees to help mitigate for that. I planted some seed on the side, and we're working on beautifying the project a little bit faster than I would have done. But I just wanted to show the council that we are acting in good faith and we're on the same page. If council has any concerns or questions, any member, feel free to contact me. You guys have my info. Contact me and we'll find a resolution of things. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, for those keeping score at home, we have A through S tonight in your ABCs. Numerically speaking, that is 19 items. So we're going to move as efficiently as we can. Council, without objection, I would like to start from the bottom up with discussion item 26049, which is the voluntary annexation agreement. I'd like to jump there. We have some guests with us this evening who have a quick presentation or are here to answer any questions that you may have. So if you guys would like to step up to the mic, please introduce yourselves and who you represent, and we'll go from there.
Hi, Aubrey McPherson with Bowman Consulting, 2701 Dallas Parkway, Plano, Texas. Really just appreciate you guys sitting down, having a conversation with us. We want to make sure that, you know, I'll steal his phrase, acting in good faith. And we're here to just answer any questions or concerns that you might have.
Dennis has handled all of this up until last week, as far as I know. I was not brought into this until last week. So I'm kind of trying to get caught up on where things are. Ask Julie Bryan, who's representing the developer. Julie's an attorney in Temple. Some of you may remember her husband, Jared Bryant, who was a past mayor of Morgan's Point. Anyway, I've had several conversations in the past week with Julie, and I asked them to be here. I thought that was the quickest way to maybe answer some questions that the council might have, and just to briefly explain the project and why they're asking to be brought into the city and what the project is going to look like. How it's going to be changed from the 4 lots that it is platted as now to 6 lots.
And Neil beat me to it, but I was gonna, Julie, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Yeah. I'm Julie Bryan, and I'm at Baird Cruz, Schiller and Whitaker in Temple, and have been working for a while with Mr. Longbotham on this property. And so anything I can do, obviously the engineer probably knows more than I do, but certainly I'm happy to answer any questions.
So, no, the streetlights would be placed, built, all that at the developer's cost. And
Along with the streets.
along with the streets, yes, ma'am. That's on the developer. It's on site. What we anticipate is to try and maintain the feel of Morgan's Point Resort, because we don't want to come in here and rip up trees or impact the way that this community feels. So what we anticipate is potentially 2 streetlights at the entrance and maybe 1 at the bend, just for safety on the way the street kind of bends around there. If you look at the concept drawing, you'll see the entrance road and how there's almost a 90-degree turn. We would anticipate 1 there as well, just for safety. But once we get past that, no streetlights. We want to work with Morgan's Point Resort and not have almost a lighthouse out there. We don't want that feel. We want to maintain what Morgan's Point Resort is. That's what we anticipate, yes, sir.
Oh, so there's an HOA involved in this?
Yes, we most likely will
Oh.
be putting an HOA in.
Didn't see that anywhere.
I think a lot of the development details, we're kind of waiting to work with the city and see what
Okay,
the
yeah, 'cause
requirements
that's
are.
a lot of questions.
There is like a mail, a tract for a mail center, so that would likely have to be maintained by an HOA. There's not a whole lot of maintenance, but
Yeah, I think where we stand, and I'm sure Neil has relayed this to the council, is we want to work with Morgan's Point Resort, and so we will be putting an HOA in place. And with that being said, the development agreement, there are some points that we want to firm up in writing as far as the annexation. Because right now, it's kind of at a point where the DA is not completely clear as far as all the risks that we might be assuming. But we are more than happy to, if we can firm that up, we want to work with Morgan's Point Resort, sorry. Morgan's Point Resort to really make this project a viable aspect for the city. We don't want to come in here and bulldoze all the trees. We don't want to come in here and put a lighthouse on the tip of your beautiful lake. That's not our intention at all. We want to put in very high-end homes that maintain that tree buffer that is currently out there. And we want to work with the city, not in a way that would, deter our client or the city. It's going to be a cohesive effort here, and that's why we are showing up here today, to answer any questions and alleviate any concerns.
I'm assuming y'all have done a drainage study or will do a drainage?
Absolutely, yes, that is absolutely what will be required, and that's something I'm here for. We've done a preliminary analysis, and I have some ideas of how we will do it. None of this site will drain to the public system. What we plan on doing is detaining in enlarged pipes, and by doing so, we will be discharging into the lake. But we will be discharging at existing rates, which is customary for what is required in Texas. So, I'll throw some numbers at you here. That's all nonsense, but in existing conditions, it might be discharging at 30 CFS, cubic feet per second. And, with this development, it could be at 70. And so what we'll do is we'll detain through a pipe structure that'll hold it all back and discharge at that existing 30 CFS. So there's no increase in drainage. There's no impact to anything that's going on in
Can I
current
just ask
day.
a question? How do you measure that?
Oh,
It's a pretty big piece of land.
so it's about 5.3 acres, yes.
Yeah, I know.
And so we have modeling for all of this. Typically for a site this size, we'll use the rational method. And this will be put in front of all of your city, county engineers, whoever wants to review it. We will put this up in front of any engineer that is required to review it. We have no doubt that we can do this. And we have no problem, like I said, putting in front of any responsible engineer that would require to sign off on it. I don't see this being a problem. We've taken a preliminary look at it. And so that's why we detain it to hold back.
When you're on the lake, there tends to be a slant down. Everything goes to the lake.
Yes, ma'am.
So you can't fight Mother Nature.
No,
And
ma'am.
So,
No, you
right,
can't.
right. And then I have a quick question. I can't see it as easily on the new survey, but the old survey had that this whole tract of land.
Yes,
which it
the
says-
672
Which it,
contour, is that where you're going with that?
no, I am going with the 5.3 acres that
Okay.
we're supposed to annex. But then on the survey, it said something like this, whole property F, the tract F.
Do you mind if I come?
Oh, no, yeah.
over your shoulder?
Yeah, so it says this whole tract F, whatever that number is, includes this wastewater. It's on the survey as part of the track. And I want to be, yeah, I just want to be perfectly clear
Yes.
that the annexation, I think, we're not going to take. And I'm assuming that septic system is for Water's Edge.
So we will not be doing a major wastewater facility. What we'll be doing
Well, I
is.
understand, but whose wastewater facility is this? Water's Edge? That this condo's right here?
What's it called out there is?
It's called Sobrante.
Bronte
Yes,
wastewater.
So what my thoughts are on that is that it was probably paper lotted previously, and then nothing was ever needed for it. And so it was never necessary. Because what this facility right here was like.
Sure.
See? What this facility probably did is it probably owned this, sold their own. Not a wastewater facility plant.
Are we annexing that? I guess it's my bottom line question.
Is that
It's
your,
not
pro-
a
is
part
that
of the
your
acreage.
property?
It's not part of your acreage, but it's a part of Exhibit A, which says we're annexing. I think it's the discrepancy, because it says we're annexing all Exhibit A,
Yes.
but. Yeah, I know, to this one, I'm thinking. It still has the wastewater on it, though. I just want to understand what that is and who owns
Yes,
it and who's
so-
responsible for it.
So this wastewater property right here, it looks like.
Yeah, it's right here.
1, 2.
When you add all those together, it's like 6.4, which is more than the 5.3.
So this will become basically an open space. Not going to develop on that. We're going to leave it open.
Okay, so we'll get a new survey that
So-
will have that eliminated. And,
Yes,
okay.
yes. When we
I just
replat,
want to make sure whatever we're annexing,
No,
we
absolutely.
understand what we're
when
annexing.
we replat, it'll still be part of the,
Okay.
not be a wastewater plant.
Okay, so then it's going to be 6.5 acres or something. Because when you add it all up, it's 6.
Yes. This is where, when we do the replat, it'll be a discussion with the city on whether you want to annex the open space or, because that'll be taken care of by the HOA. So it's not the city's responsibility. But
It'd
when.
be nice to know what it's going to be for.
Well, I think, if it looks like it's open space right now, we could turn that into, we're open to negotiations with the city.
Okay, so it's open.
That's-
And I think that right now it's conceptual. We have to cross some hurdles, engineering, things like that. So obviously, that's not necessarily what we will submit to the county or the city for plat approval, but we will have those conversations ongoing.
And
yeah.
this is where we do want to work with the city council. We did not account for a lot there, so,
But regardless, it's not intended, even if it's annexed, it's not intended that the city's going to maintain anything on that lot. If it were park space, green space, whatever.
Well, it's just it's a
Absolutely,
point
yes.
that's not addressed at this point.
Correct.
Yes.
So we'll just address it. in
and
the
it
future.
will not be a wastewater plant. I can
Okay, that's what it says
definitively
on it,
say
so-
that.
Okay,
Yes.
Okay.
One of the only concerns I have is all of these lots are gonna be discharged stormwater. The 3/4 acre lot, obviously you have to have half taking into account the TCEQ?
Yes, and so retention ponds, that feeds back into our drainage analysis. And that's where we're going to account for that drainage by holding in a pipe, by flattening the slope of the pipe. I don't want to get too in the weeds with,
No, yeah.
with it, but
Slow it down.
we will detain it in a pipe before discharging to get back to existing, which is what TCEQ requires. And what I envision for this site is most likely,
Go ahead, yes, no problem.
lots will most likely be, in development terms, be lot graded. Front half of each of these lots will drain to the cul-de-sac. We will capture that in inlets. That's where it'll feed into the pipe that we're going to flatten and go down and then put an orifice at the end. Absolutely, to get any of this approved, we will. That we do will be triple checked at that point. And so they will look at all of our modeling and review comments and put down my mind that we can get there. I feel confident in saying.
Yeah. The other question in my mind is, and it's just fuzzy, is timing and what comes first? The infrastructure, the annexation, the acceptance of roads and streets? I mean, I'm
I think
really
that's
confused on the timing.
Yeah,
Okay.
we kind of are too, and
Okay.
I think that's a discussion and some clarity that we want to get in a development agreement, is just making sure that we all know who's doing what and when. You know, we don't want the city to get hung out at any point, but we also don't want to put in, you know, $1 million worth of infrastructure and have the risk of the city not annexing. So I think that, like Neil said, we'll continue to work through those processes and make sure that we all feel comfortable about how this is proceeding.
Okay, fantastic.
So when I read the contract, from what I read, it looked like every step of every phase will come before council again, come before the city again to let us know what's going on. And there will be no cost to the city.
And that's where it gets a little confusing in the development agreement that's currently standing. You know, you're confused, we're confused.
Okay.
And that's why we've asked to table that.
Okay.
I think our expectation, and I think probably the cities as well, is that when something is approved and agreed, we all know what's gonna happen, we all know what the obligations are.
Yeah.
And at the end of the road, we know that if we hit X, Y, and Z, there's no question about whether or not that could be in a council in a year or two that may be different, that looks different.
Right, we're not
And
turning
so
back though.
we want to
Yeah.
make sure that we have the commitment that if we hit these milestones, that we know it's going to be annexed. And I'm sure, you know, the same with y'all. But I think that is a discussion that we do want to continue to have with your attorney, just to make sure that everything is laid out correctly and that we both feel comfortable, that we know how it's going to look in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years.
And on that point, Neil has been fantastic in the past week and a half, 2 weeks on responding and negotiating all this. And
Okay.
so we want to make sure that we're here to alleviate any concerns and allow Neil to work with the council and to work with us. And we want to make this a beautiful area for Morgan's
Sounds
Point
like it's
Resort.
gonna be. All right.
Well, that's the goal.
Yeah, it is a beautiful area. I used to ride my bike out there till that gate went up.
Yeah, and we don't want to turn it into condominiums, or we don't want to make this, you know, what Morgan's Point Resort is not. We want to feed into what Morgan's Point Resort is. And that's why both of us are here today to open the discussion with all of y'all. And Neil has been great in the past week or so.
Gated community, yeah.
You know, and if gates are a concern, you know, that's something that we could absolutely negotiate with you. You know, whether you want that where it's open from sun up to sundown, we can put a gate in there. If not, we could forego a gate. You know, this is part of the negotiation that we're here to discuss with y'all.
And we just got this on Friday morning.
Oh,
So, yeah, so this is the first glance we've had at it.
is Dennis here?
No,
Okay. Dennis has had this for
okay.
2 or 3 months. So,
I'm sure he's been working on it.
He's
Are
been
you guys
working on it, yeah.
associated with Water's Edge condo since it's the same name?
we are not. No, I don't believe
Same
so.
name, but you're
Yeah.
not associated.
Yes.
Fascinating.
No, this is a standalone project and
Standalone company, completely separate.
yes, ma'am.
Okay, huh.
Same
Stephen.
name, different, yeah.
Go, jump in.
The question I have, you said that wastewater treatment plant was not gonna be used?
That's correct. I think right now it's paper platted as,
Well,
you know,
yeah, I think our development is not using a water treatment plant.
No, that wastewater treatment plant that's over there, that's what the condo uses for their,
That's what I thought.
For the
Right,
waste.
well,
oh, so there is an existing.
it is very much
Yeah.
being used. yes.
okay,
So-
that's not on our property, I think is what,
It's on your track.
no.
So, well, it's on your survey.
So I think
On
where
your
the
survey,
confusion
that's what
comes
was
is
confusing.
that it is on a lot that we are not annexing, and that is why it's 5.3 versus the 6.
Right.
Yes.
You want me to show you?
And so
So
we are
this
not
right
attempting
here
to annex that.
is not our property.
Well, this is the survey for this track, and it's included. That's what was confusing.
No, see, if you see, that's not enclosed. It's this
Oh.
tract right here, it's this tract right here, it's this and this. So
Okay.
this right here.
I don't know why it's on the survey then.
Well,
Yeah.
it's just, it shows adjacent property.
Okay,
Water's
so I
Edge
just
is
want to be
on there,
clear
too.
what we're
Yes.
annexing.
I'm sorry,
We,
so the
we will not
property-
be building anything there.
Yeah.
We will not
The property
be,
that says Sabrante wastewater.
impacting that at
facility
all.
is not.
and if the city is concerned about
But
us
why is it
annexing
on
that,
their
It's
survey?
not ours, it's
Why is
not
it
ours.
on the
It's not the
yes,
city's.
we are not annexing
That
parcel.
wastewater treatment
Survey
plant
just
belongs
includes
to the
what's on that.
condominiums that are there.
Yeah,
So
it's-
we will
Just
not
heard,
be,
I heard you guys say there wasn't gonna be a wastewater treatment plant there, and that was not correct.
oh, no, you're correct.
Okay.
You're correct. I apologize.
Okay.
We are not looking to annex that, and that's where the discrepancy in the acreage comes in.
It's,
Um,
yeah, they show on surveys, they show adjacent property. So that Sabrante water facility is not ours. That's not part of the acreage. So we are not on our property doing any sort of wastewater, to clarify.
And to add on top of that, we are not tying into that wastewater either.
Okay,
Our anticipation is that we are doing wastewater treatment for each specific lot. There won't be one major, tank or anything like that. It'll be treated on each individual lot's basis.
So I do have one quick question then on the boundary, on the road surface itself. This property's not gonna be in the annexation? All own this, or does it need?
We own that.
Yes, we do own that, and so,
from Water's Edge entrance to your entrance, you own the whole road?
Cause your proposed street's over here.
Right.
yes. So we own this entrance wrapping around into here. Julie, if you could, you look at this.
Yes, yeah.
We own, here you go. Oh, I
Okay.
think,
I've got,
Very hard to
I've
see,
got
but
it.
it's that line right here.
Oh, it's
That
okay.
runs to
I got one
Sabrante.
too.
and so,
You're gonna put that road in, 'cause I think it's dirt.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
okay.
okay, okay, all
It
right,
would be built to
Yeah.
the city or county specs.
okay, all right.
The existing one, I'm sorry, no.
That's my point.
Okay,
Adjacent, yeah.
Well, would a road count as adjacent?
as long as one of the lots is adjacent?
well, so the entrance is adjacent. Would that be
That-
sufficient? Yes, so city limits right now are, either of these really show it very well. But city limits comes up Sabrante Road, and then it cuts right up here.
To Water's Edge, right?
Yes,
Yes.
I can draw it.
So that would be that mark right there.
City limits are basically go like that.
Thanks.
Okay. Okay. So we just need a set of one field notes for the entire tract.
Okay, yeah, we can provide that.
Yes, yep. We can,
Stephen?
we can do that.
That septic system for Water's Edge, do we maintain that? Or is that homeowners association?
Absolutely not, no.
I didn't think so. But it's not in the city limits.
And
It's,
so,
so I
No,
wonder who owns it.
it's the condos.
The
That's how,
HOA
that's where
owns
their, yeah, that's where their wastewater goes.
Okay.
and this is where we're open to, we're only proposing the 5.3 acres for annexation. So we don't want to take responsibility of the sanitary sewer field either.
I
No,
understand.
we don't own it, so we can't.
Yes.
So it sounds like we still need engineer, go do engineer stuff, lawyers, you guys do lawyer stuff.
And next time, can we get like an executive summary? Because all we got was like starting with documents. So it's like hunt and peck, trying to figure out what is going on.
Well, and I think that'll be part of, once we move further with the development agreement and get to a place where council is comfortable, we're comfortable, we're happy to provide any type of engineering
I can,
summary,
yeah,
anything like that.
and I can work with Neil for bullet points or summary of,
Yeah.
sure.
Sounds good, thank you.
Anything else?
Okay, well, I'm glad you're as confused as I was, because I was like,
Well,
Thank
we all
you.
want this to be a successful
Right,
project,
absolutely.
and I think it
Absolutely.
fits with
Sounds
Morgan's
good.
Point.
absolutely.
Look forward to
you.
working with you.
Okay, council, without objection, I would like to continue to go out of order, just because that's what I like to do. Since Ken is sitting back there, I would like to bring Ken up and briefly discuss his items, which are 25, 35, 36, 37, 38, and 39, and 40. Any issues with that? Okay, welcome, good evening.
Good evening. We've got a few to go through, some that we've come through a few times. Chapter 3, 6 are kind of familiar to us. I did get some comments on Chapter 3, and just so you'll know, the reason we're bringing Chapter 3 back too with some more adjustments is the issue of the 1/2 acre requirement for our septic systems. When we got our wording kind of laid out to change that to smaller lots, it appeared that it did still impact Chapter 3. So we took the wording that we had, which is in Chapter 14, pulled the information out that affected Chapter 3 and brought it back into Chapter 3. So a good bit of what you'll see in the changes, we brought a lot of changes up from the last meeting of City Council, which was 3/10 of 2026, and these additional adjustments for the modification to the 1/2 acre requirement. So some of the comments were we going to require their septic system to be approved by Bell County Health Department District at the time they filed for permit. And in talking with Mike about this, it's kind of a two-track deal. Mike wants to get all the information as it relates to the build to be able to go to the permit, but this information also then goes to Bell County Health District for their review to see.
Parallel process.
That's correct.
Yep.
See if those two go together. And so having those two together, once they get to the approval process at Bell County Health District, then Mike's right along with them. Once it comes back into Mike, that the approval has been done for something less than a 1/2 acre requirement, then he's ready to also move that permit forward once he does all the work that he needs to do to make sure they're being installed properly, that kind of thing. So that was one. Another item that we had, let's see. Yeah, it was in section 3.02302, talking about does the city issue a separate sewer septic system permit, or is it part of that overall permit? And kind of what I mentioned here, it's part of that overall permit to be able to put that septic system in based on the design that's been given to the Bell County Health District.
Yeah, and I had that
by them.
question because it's kind of confusing because that section says issuance of a permit. The following procedures shall be complied with in obtaining a sewer septic permit. Sounds like the city is issuing a permit.
Right, and we're not issuing the permit. Other than, well, let's back up. We are gonna issue the permit for the build. And the only way that the lot is gonna be built on is to have all of these approvals from Bell County Health District and from everything that Mike needs to be able to get to a point to where we see the plot, the plan, the building that's gonna go on, as well as the septic design and the septic approval by Bell County Health District. Mike, chime in if I miss anything.
Yeah, basically, on a new build, I like getting the plans at the same time that he does, because if I do it concurrent to them, I'm getting like 5 minutes and everybody wants. It gives me the same amount of time it gives Bell County to review, because I have to review all plans, all zoning,
Yeah, that makes
everything.
perfect
All Bell
sense.
County checks out is that septic system, that's it. I verify that septic's not gonna be a hazard to the town,
Right.
you know, so.
So, but my question is, this says issuance of a permit in this section 3.02302.
We haven't been issuing
I
permits
know,
for
so I'm
single
wondering if we
septics.
just need to change that.
Yeah, we need to issue permits for single septic systems that are replaced, because basically what I'm looking for is that it's not a nuisance to the neighbors. That when, after it's installed,
so you're
I'm
gonna
not looking at the design, I'm not looking at all I'm making sure it's not a problem for our neighbors and, you know, it's not leaking. That's all I'm really looking at.
So we will issue a
Yes.
separate permit.
We-
Okay, that was
we-
I didn't think we were, so that
We hadn't
clarifies it.
been, but
Okay.
we do need to start doing that. I caught somebody putting one in without a permit. I stopped them. They had to get a
Oh,
permit.
I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Done right.
Okay. And then moving forward to page 14, 3.03.101. This may be where I was a little confused when we were talking about notice of appeal. At the last meeting, I kind of heard whenever there is a building official and he's making a particular requirement, that the appeal for whatever the building official is asking the homeowner to do normally would get referred back to city council, since we don't have a housing board of appeals. I thought I heard at that point in time that the city council didn't want those appeals until it hit district court first before it came back.
Yeah, that's.
Okay,
yeah,
so
that's
that was, okay, it must have, I
I
got
think
it
it
lost in the
was-
translation.
That's what I heard too.
Okay,
Well, see, we are the Housing Board of Adjustments and Appeals. We can't relinquish our responsibility to the court. So if Mike, right, so Mike has an issue. This is the way I understand it, correct me if I'm wrong. You've got an issue. You give the people a citation, you give them so many days, they go, we're not doing it. So we want an appeal process. Well, at that point, they come to council. And then if
But that's
council
not on
says,
just various violations. It is strictly substandard structures. That's all a building board of appeals ever hears. It doesn't do with grass, trash and debris, or
Perfect.
anything like that.
okay, so what does this say? This says that
I don't know, I can't even find it.
we need to give the residents the right to appeal if they have an issue with the building official.
right.
They need to have some recourse. And
Yeah.
since we don't have that housing board, we're it.
That's kind of where I heard the comment about having to go to district court before it even would come back to city council.
Yeah, I think we're talking about two different things. We're
Okay.
talking about appeals on various
violations that I have called out, okay, they should have an appeal process to you guys, to say, hey, he shouldn't have called me out on this. But the building commission thing is, it's a building and standards commission. It's typical in all cities. They deal with strictly structures, deteriorating structures that either need repairs or need to be demolished completely. That's all that whole body deals with. So,
Yeah, so this is talking about repair, reconstruction, alteration, removal, or demolition.
yeah, see, I didn't think you'd want to hear the demolition. I mean, because you're giving orders to tear down people's homes. Necessarily, it's unhealthy.
You
It's
took that
been,
completely out. We're out of the demolition business.
right,
We
where
don't
y'all
even have
want
an
that
ordinance
straight to.
for it.
If
Yeah.
I wanted to seek demolition now, I have to go to Bell County, try to get
My
this.
understanding.
Right.
Right.
And I'm okay with that. I've dealt with district court before, so it's not a problem.
Right.
Okay,
Yes.
so it was the tear downs then that,
The demolition, but we took the demolition whole section out.
right?
So I don't think the district court is gonna come into play in this ordinance at
So
all
they,
now.
okay, so we
Took it all out.
really need to strike that then and leave it the way that it was before, which
Mike?
the appeal rights go back to the housing board / city council.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, okay, yeah, that's what I thought.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
what I thought.
All right. Okay.
Everybody? Yeah, okay.
Till we get a
All right, that's some of the comments I had on chapter 3, but I'm willing to answer any more questions than anybody might have right now.
I
Only
just,
thing I got is, as I was reading through this, section 302.005, it says the city building official shall require that his office be provided. We want to make that not gender specific for in the future in case we have
Gotcha.
someone else. And there might be some more, and I just caught this one.
Okay,
When I approved it.
we'll get that changed.
there were a couple little things that were minor, like, when it came to swimming pools, we had added a 7 and 8 just prior to that, so it should be 9 instead of 7.
So some numbering
Yeah,
differences.
just, yeah, and that numbering might correct itself when you reformat it, so I
Yeah,
just
'cause-
want, yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
When
what
we
we'll
get a
do-
clean format of everything,
Yeah.
it should all flow real.
Once we are in agreement on the changes and we get a formatted, clean copy that we will then go to Municode with it, all the numbers, hopefully, and all the letters will get in there, hopefully appropriately,
Yeah.
with our review.
Can I ask council a question?
Yes.
I had a question. I kind of wanted to take back a change I wanted to make on 3.02002 on my duties as building official. It gave me in our ordinance ability to allow minor variances on setback violations or build line violations that necessarily wouldn't be a visual obstruction, hazard on a property, anything like that. And actually, I've done a couple lately, and it's allowed us to continue moving on the project and allowing a 2-foot bust on a side setback that doesn't hurt anybody. You know, and I took that out, not kind of wanting to have that responsibility, but I think it is a good tool for me to have to potentially keep some things from bogging you guys down
Right.
while you have all this other finance and everything to do.
People who are building, yeah. and-
Yeah.
As well as the people who
I'd
are
like to
building,
kind of keep that in there if possible.
So do you issue a variance?
I do not. Basically,
Issue a variance and then we have a paper trail.
what I
of-
do is we have a cover sheet that everything gets signed by me, by Dennis, by whoever, and there's a comments section. And in that comments section, I describe the encroachment that I had approved. So it's part of the permit pack. It's all hard copy, of course, and in a file, but it is there. And I have made note of it. I'm sorry?
I think you should have that.
Okay.
Well, sometimes the setbacks have come to us in the past, and we'll usually go to building official and see what he thinks as far, because he's always looking at safety for fire department and things like that to make sure they can get around those buildings and get to them. And if Mike has that ability, it would, to do the minor ones, then.
I think there needs to be a limit on it, though. Can y'all set a limit
Well,
maybe?
can I,
commissioners look
can
at
I
that?
offer another alternative?
Sure.
Can you have that ability to make minor, you know, which is what you said,
Right.
variances, but it's in writing and it's signed by the city manager?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
Sounds like a
and then
good
it's
plan.
filed somewhere
And it's
that
got two people, it's got eyes
two
on it
people
in
got a check
here.
and balance.
And that's what I've been kind of doing. I've
Yeah.
been getting Dennis to sign off on
Okay.
them, so, you know,
All right, we'll get that changed.
worked so
How are we
far.
gonna define minor?
Yeah, it's, you know, I mean,
Always a hard
your
one.
setbacks vary because you have 5 yard, side yard setbacks, 8 yard.
Right.
I mean, 8 foot, 5 foot, and there's a lot of variances based on the area of the town. I don't know how we figure that. It's just maybe something y'all could talk about.
The word minor is throws the kink into it. Could it be something at the building official's discretion or?
I think maybe if you state if it doesn't cause a safety hazard, a nuisance for a neighboring or adjacent property, put some language in there like that,
That would,
you know,
would work
might
for me.
cover it.
that would work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
As long as there's no safety issue or
Right.
impedance of the neighboring properties.
correct, because
Okay.
I'm, like he said, I'm always
Not
watching
getting
out
in
for
an
fire.
easement that we have
I'm their biggest advocate.
electricity or cable
Right,
or
right,
water.
right,
or-
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
okay, that makes sense.
Thank you.
Got that one?
Yep, we'll get that. We'll work it in.
Really good job on this.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
y'all did
you've
a
done
great
a
job.
really good job
Thankful.
on this.
So
yeah.
we've had a lot of good input, and I think we're starting to hone in on things that's gonna make it a little bit more, you know, a little make us where we're a little slicker with some of our opportunities to get things moving, for sure. Yeah.
And where you have, does that whole section is gone?
Yes, yes, usually so. Do you have a spot there, Sam, that, you want to?
Receptacles and seepage pits. Crossed out. The next one, F is crossed out.
Right, there we go. Yeah, once we use the clean copy, it'd be one that if you took a look in the Muni code after it gets updated, it would hopefully state just exactly the way that good clean copy will reflect. Okay. Other thoughts, comments on chapter 3? Okay,
Looks
we
good.
can move into chapter 6. And that's DS 25037. Right, Jimbo? Get up. All right, on this one, chapter 6 is being adjusted due to the fact that Morgan's Point Resort does not have a health officer. However, Morgan's Point Resort does have a representative on the Bell County Public Health District Board. The adjustments are being made to establish duties that the billing official can perform under this chapter. And I think what I did, or what we did, I'm not gonna say just me, I think I put our change in the blue change in there about the city of Morgan's Point Resort has a resident representative on the bill. I think I've got it in the wrong place. I put it in between the fact that the employment of a billing official, and then it should say the position of the billing official will be at-will employment with the city of Morgan's Point Resort. Then, after that is where I think we should put the city of Morgan's Point Resort has a resident, unless y'all disagree
Sounds good.
with my rearrangement.
sounds
And my
good.
only question was the title,
Title of it,
because it says employment of building official. So the title ought to reflect somehow resident representative too. Don't know,
so you think that title ought to somehow encompass?
we could just say
That-
building official and resident representative. I don't know, but anyway, it's covering both, but it only says employment.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, do like position of each, position of building
Yeah.
official,
Yeah.
position of.
Position of building
Representative,
official in the
yeah.
Bell County Public Health District Board.
Okay, gotcha.
I'll let you go. Do you have any?
Oh, that's okay. No, that was the one item that I had that I knew that I had gotten it in the wrong place.
Under section 6.04004.
Yes, ma'am,
number-
the campers and RVs
Right.
out front.
Number 4, I'm a camper, so I know this, okay?
Okay.
We have short-term RV and mobile camper stays. an RV includes a pull behind, it includes a fifth wheel, and it includes a motorhome. So if you just said RV, that would be all-inclusive.
Okay.
Yeah, and we could even, if you wanted to define it, you could put it in your definitions of the
And,
chapter.
yeah, you could. That way
In
everybody would know.
Appendix B.
And-
Yeah, it probably should go in Appendix B too then.
Well, and I mean, because you want to consider Class A motorhomes are bigger than 1 ton. Our streets are made for about 1 ton. That's about it. So
Class
you
A
think
is a
about,
big
you get a
medium.
lot of Class A motorhomes on the interior residential streets. It could start doing damage to them.
They travel up
Especially
and
if
down a
one's
lot,
there
yeah.
all the time. I don't know. Just something to consider.
Well, an
Look at the
RV,
garbage truck.
RV then should be
Garbage trucks, yeah.
capitalized. You could even say recreational vehicle if you wanted it to be more, and that would include all of them, so.
Yeah, correct.
As long as we include it in the definition.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, and we've still got the, how long do we allow them to be there? In talking with Mike and I were talking this morning, he indicated 72 hours is not a bad number either. I know we've got 14 days on here right now. And Sitcog's been looking at this for us, but I haven't gotten any feedback on that yet. Are there any other thoughts about how long we let them do it?
My thoughts are, we don't want to be any more restrictive than we have to be. And if my camper's sitting out on my yard and I had a fight with my husband, if I want to sleep in it every night, can I do it?
I think we just have to make sure people ain't driving over people's septic systems and water meters and stuff like that to park them. And a lot of times, on some of these smaller houses, they have real short driveways. So you're not gonna put a motorhome in there, or even a fifth or a pull behind.
Yeah.
And I think there has to be, because I've seen a lot of people lately drop a trailer and then leave in the vehicle, and that's kind of illegal. You've got to have a vehicle attached to that the whole time. It's dangerous and I've been seeing it the last 2 weeks. I've seen 3 of them parked there without vehicles attached to them. Yes, on the street.
Oh.
So that's why I'm saying, we wanna make sure to cover everything in this on safety.
Sometimes with things like that, people will have their big camper that doesn't fit on their lot, and they'll bring it up to load it before they go somewhere. And I know in San Antonio, our friends had one, and they were allowed by their HOA a 3-day stay where they could load and unload, and then it had to be moved. So that was a limit that was put on, and it was just to be brought in for loading and unloading. So
Sure.
FYI, it'll be
I got you.
something to think about.
I'd like to wait for the COG.
For the
to
COG,
see
okay.
what
All right.
Guidance, because I'm at a loss.
All right.
It's all over the board.
Yeah, I've looked too at lake communities. Some are more restrictive than others, and I kind of agree with Roxanne that I think we ought to be on the side of being a little more lenient, because we are a lake community.
That's our culture.
That
Yeah.
is, yeah.
Yeah, so you can set up safety procedures, like ask them to come to, if they plan on having say, family, come and stay in an RV on their site, set up that they need to come see the city and just give us a plat that shows it's gonna be parked here. We make sure it's not in their septic. We make sure it's safe. Yeah, like, we can work around things like that.
Okay, so you would do a variance for that?
Not a variance, just really just an approval.
But I think y'all are
Permit.
talking about 2 different things, Mike and council. I think y'all are speaking of the overnight accommodations, correct, right now? Overnight accommodations or sleeping quarters. That's what you're on, right, Ken? Is that what y'all are talking about right now?
Yes.
Because and I think, Mike, what you're talking about is just having a camper at your place, which to me, are 2 different.
No, I'm talking about somebody coming and staying there.
Okay, so, but what about the ones are just there and then they're using them as sleeping quarters, who, I own it, but
They're not
that guy
supposed to
over there.
sleep in it.
See, that's
inside
what
city
we're
limits.
talking about, that's what
Yeah,
we're
that
all,
we
that,
don't want, yeah.
yeah,
It's not a rental property.
right, so,
Yeah.
but
a
that's,
different thing.
so that's what y'all are talking about, correct? Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying, I think y'all are talking about 2 different things.
Yeah, we do show in that number 4, we say the violations are for cellars, temporary tents or sheds, or mobile campers to be used as sleeping rooms.
Right.
That's a violation right there. We're saying if you're not using it as a sleeping room, and Matt, that may be where you're kind of going with that, but if you're using it as a temporary, my family's coming in, they want to stay for 3 days, we don't have room for them in the house, but they're bringing their RV with them, how long are we going to leave them on this, on that part?
That's the however,
Yeah,
yeah.
right,
What isn't a what
Right.
isn't a
What is-
prohibited, yeah.
right. Well, all right, we'll wait for SITCOG, is that all right with y'all? Till they,
On that one, yeah.
okay, all right.
We can go forward with the rest, I
Defer to
think.
them, and we'll see what they come back
We'll
with.
see what they come back with. Okey-doke.
Sounds good.
Moving on to DS 26038. This is chapter 14. Appendix B, section 10.4. This is our 1/2 acre issue ordinance. P&Z and SITCOG has developed modification language to address lots that are smaller than 1/2 acre where an aerobic septic is required. That language has been reviewed further, and the attached document is proposed as new language in the current ordinance. The language should allow owners of these smaller lots to seek approval from the Bell County Health District prior to requesting a permit from Morgan's Point Resort. So the
I
one,
like stating that explicitly, the part about if you're, 1/2 acre versus less than 1/2 acre. Like, I like just the way you have it. I like what's on here.
I like
Because
how
I
you,
think it explicitly states, yeah, both situations, you gotta go through Bell County Health. Yeah.
looks good.
Seems like we're
No, we are. That's what this is. They added 2 more.
Yeah, 'cause it says if it's less than 1/2 an acre, it has to comply with Bell County Public Health District, so.
That's all fine.
Yeah.
It's just number 2.
That's a new, yeah.
Yes.
Correct.
And if it doesn't, oh, a new one, yes, but a replat,
Yeah,
but a
that's-
replat doesn't have to be a 1/2 acre. Right, right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
good example of this, Mr. Bronte,
Yep.
one that we were talking.
Right.
Yep. That's
Yeah.
a good question. Right.
Also what the laws are, because I don't know that the law is always, the law of Texas doesn't always allow us to deny Airbnbs without good reason, so.
And by the way, a minor point, but that's 18 Robin Circle. There's no south in it. It was my mom's old house. Right.
Yeah. Kathy told me that. Your
Yeah,
parents built it.
16, yeah.
Yeah, with Larry and Donna's help.
Right, Robin
No.
Circle, yeah. Sad to say, but, okay. And then do we have any septic requirements? I didn't see anything in here that says we're gonna make sure the septic is still good. No, we don't, that's just up to Bell County? Okay, fine.
The thing Mike has developed, and this is going to be all later on, is we got an ordinance on this morning, we've got one built out that we'll be coming back around to, with some more guidelines, looking at things that can.
I looked up the ordinance and it's very generic. Yeah,
How many,
yeah, yeah,
how many cars?
right, right. Yeah. And then we also require that they give us their guest guidelines, and it says they're attached, but they're not attached. So we just need to make sure, you know, because we want to make sure they're telling them things like trash, the trash days, what to do with it, and
Loud music.
noise variances, yeah. Prevent. Yes.
And if I can, sir, let me jump in here. So council, I believe this is the one that we chatted about briefly about chapters 1, 2, and 3, and the discussion was about, tabling that for now. Is that where we're at on that?
Well, he's
As-
just.
He just
presenting
wants
the
the
workshop.
format. He wants to know-
doesn't need a decision right now.
Right.
Okay,
In the workshop, just for y'all's review.
okay. Keep going then, keep going.
Yep.
I'm just watching the clock.
Yeah, yeah.
Each individual home. What we think.
I really like the formatting, yeah.
Yeah.
I
It'll
really
look-
like the formatting.
And it'll
It
look
was
good with
nice.
charts and pictures
Yeah,
and
they'll be
things
adding
like
those,
that
yeah.
too. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Y'all felt
Very readable, which is good, yeah, yeah.
we still got a lot.
Well, I just have to say,
Lot.
I'm really, planning and zoning has stepped up to the plate big time, and you have done a fantastic job. You guys are,
I
that is
agree.
great.
It's all of these guys too. Go into these things and try to read through them and get them in.
Overwhelming.
Planning and zoning has done a great job. I appreciate it.
And then working with Mike. I also love that partnership. Seems to be working, seems to be working.
No, sir. No, appreciate
Thank you.
it. Okay, council, I've got 6:08 running late, which is the norm for us. I appreciate that. So without objection, I'm gonna push everything. I've looked over everything, and it appears that it's on the regular session. So without objection, we'll adjourn, take 5, and be ready for regular session, roll right back in.
No objection.
No objection.